This is Change Radio News, and the news read by Shamiso Sibanda. And now for the stories making the headlines. The People's President Advocate Nelson Chamisa mourns Minister Moyo. Transform Party leader to join allies with President Chamisa. And finally, COVID-19 data lands Chiwenga in court. And now for the news in detail. The People's President, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, has sent his condolence message to the late Minister Sibusiso Moyo's family, saying, and I quote, "We note with sadness the passing on of Dr. S.B.Moyo and Dr. Gwaradzimba. We extend our condolences to both the Moyo and Gwarazimba families. Our sympathies are also with Comrade Mukudzei, Midzi, and Morton, Malianga's families. Both comrades sacrificed everything to free our beloved country." Close quote. 31 July movement convenor Jacob Ngarivhume has highlighted that he will not be reuniting his Transform Zimbabwe party as he is choosing to join hands with MDC Alliance led by Nelson Chamisa. Ngarivhume said, "My hope is that the MDC-A's leadership may begin to engage the people of Zimbabwe and guide the process for reforms, working with regional and international partners to take head on the abuses in our country. The MDC-A is the voice of the people on the international stage, and it's time the world heard from us." The Media Institute for Southern Africa, MISA, Zimbabwe chapter has dragged Vice President and Health and Child Care Minister Chiwenga to court as they seek to be granted an order compelling the government to disseminate information on the testing, isolation, and treatment of COVID-19 patients. MISA in their complaint said, "Critically, there is no information as to the statistics emanating from healthcare providers, such as the number of tests that have been conducted, the results, age, and location of people tested." Meanwhile, Solomon Tagarofa Masuka, a Manicaland resident, has hailed the Mutare Council for taking care of Mutare residents who lost their belongings to heavy floods that hit the area. This is what he had to say.
Tinotenda, ndinoitwa Solomon Tagarofa Masuka, ndiri kuno kwa Mutare ku Manicaland province. Mumana apfuura tinoona kuti mamiriro ekunze munzvimbo yeMutare kwanga kune mvura yanga ichinaya zvakanyanyisa, mvura yomubvumbi, mvura yanga isiri hayo iya yatingati iri violent kana ine mipande kana mhepo, asi yanga iri mvura yakanaya zvakanyanyisa. Tikatarisa kune mamwe maguta mune vanhu vakatosvika pakutokuvadzirwa midziyo yavo, dzimwe dzimba dzikaparara, mimwe midziyo ikaenda nemvura iyi. Kunyanya tikatarisa nzvimbo dzakaita senge munogara vanhu veruzhinji vatingati kuChiwenga phase 2, totarisa kuZimta, Benwin, Dream House, nzvimbo idzodzo dzakakanganisika zvakanyanyisa nokuti kune mvura yakawanda yanga ichinaya ichiyerera nemukati memaguta yawo, nokuti mune zvakaita zvemukova zviri munzvimbo idzodzo. Kune chidhamuwo zvakare chiri munzvimbo idzodzo pakati peguta ratingati musha weBenwin neChiwenga. Dhamu iro rakazara mvura zvokuti rakasvika pakutopaduka kana kwatingati kutsemuka. Mvura ikayerera ikapinda nemudzimba dzevanhu, dzimwe dzimba dzikadonha, vamwe midziyo yavo ikaenda. Asi tinongopawo kutenda zvikuru kuti kanzuru yeguta reMutare inova inotungamirwa neMDC Alliance vakaedza kubatsira nepanogona napo kuvanhu vakawirwa nenjodzi iyoyi. Vamwe vakapuwa machira okufuga, vamwewo nhumbi, vamwe okupuwa pekugarawo munguva yekunaya kwemvura zvakaita saizvozvi. Saka izvo tinopa kutenda, asi taingoshuvawo kuti seguta reMutare kanzuru yacho uye hurumende vange vachiona kuti dhamu iroro riri pakati pedzimba dzinogara veruzhinji dai richiwedzerwa kuvakwa wall yacho yatingati demo kuitira kuti kana mvura yakauya yakawanda risatsemuka, izvo zvinozokonzera njodzi kuvagari, nokuti pakutsemuka kwarakaita tinoona kuti dzimba zhinji dzakakanganisika, vanhu zhinji nemhuri zhinji dzakakanganisika kugara kwadzo.
Police at Mbare Musika fired tear gas to disperse the crowds of vendors and other informal sector workers. The ZRP arrested dozens of pedestrians, most of whom belong to the informal sector, which is the source of income for the majority of Zimbabweans and has been hit hard by the lockdown. With no government support grant, informal sector workers are risking it all to continue with their operations amid calls for government to provide social grants to the struggling workers and people in general. The Chinese embassy in Zimbabwe has released a statement after a video of a Chinese man assaulting an employee went viral on social media. In their statement, the embassy said, I quote, "The Chinese embassy supports a fair and transparent handling of all violations of law by the Zimbabwean authorities, regardless of whom is involved." I close quote. Details of what transpired in the 25-minute video are yet to be established. In our regional news, Nigerian human rights lawyer Femi Falana has filed a complaint to the UN Working Group on behalf of Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine, who has been under house arrest for the past 8 days, said there were no charges that had been brought before him. Bobi Wine contested in the Ugandan presidential elections, which were marred by state-sponsored violence and brutality. Part of the complaint stated that Mr. Wine and his wife were being illegally detained in their house with no charges brought against them, and they have been denied their right to food supply by hundreds of soldiers that have placed them under siege. In our sports news tonight, in soccer matches played on Wednesday, Manchester United shot back to the top of the English Premier League after defeating Fulham by 2-1. Manchester City also defeated Aston Villa by 2-0. In our COVID-19 statistical updates, Zimbabwe has to date recorded 29,408 positive cases with 19,253 recoveries and 879 deaths. And now to end the news bulletin, here are the main stories once again. The People's President Advocate Nelson Chamisa mourns Minister Moyo. Transform Party leader to join allies with President Chamisa. And finally, COVID-19 data lands Chiwenga in court.